Yo, what's up? It's Ant P here. Turned 30 today, and I'm really excited. Not really. I don't care. I really don't. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new life to me. I look at life as one day at a time. I literally wake up and say, God, thank you for giving me life. I go to sleep and say, God, if this is my last chance, thank you. I was grateful. And if you give me one more chance tomorrow, I promise I will do my best to live it according to the best potential for me. And so every day I go to sleep assuming I won't wake up. Every morning I wake up as a prisoner reprieved from death, as though this is my only chance to live life. And so whatever, I'm 30 today, and I wanted to make a video because I feel that it's beneficial to others to hear what my perspective is after living 3 decades. So my 20s are done. I am some of my 20s, some of what I did, some of my habits, my attitudes, my actions, I'm proud of and benefited me tremendously. Others, I feel like were a huge waste of time. And, if I could go back and do it again, I'd probably save a lot of time. 60, 70% of my 20s, I'd probably do differently. But the 30 or 40% dramatically benefited me. I cannot express enough how my unique path of my 20s benefited. Like, I'm glad I didn't go to college. I'm glad I started my own business when I was 23. I'm glad I spent a lot of my 20s alone in solitude, reading books and researching. I'm glad I took the chances I did. I'm glad I went into the debt that I went into. Every decision I made, whether positive or negative, has brought me to this place of deep self-understanding and appreciation for life. And I would not trade that for any amount of money that I could have made instead, or any kind of whatever qualitative relationships or associations I could have gained. Everything I've done has brought me to this place, and I'm feeling very, very grateful, feeling fulfilled, having turned 30. And if you don't know my story, you know that I've been through it. You know that I've gone through absolute hell in my 20s. From age 19, when I was in a grisly car wreck that scrambled my brain and created an existential confusion that lasted 5 years, to going on tour with bands, childhood friends of mine, and experiencing so many great things, traveling the world, and reaching a point of depression and ideating suicide that I never could have imagined, considering being a hairstylist from age 20 to age 24, living alone for 3-4 years, undergoing an extreme identity reconstruction in my life. All these things leading up to starting my own digital marketing business when I was 23, 24, doing that for the last 6 or 7 years, eventually writing my own depression recovery book, which is right here. If you want to support me on my 30th birthday, do something nice for me. Say, hey, Anthony, glad you're alive. Glad you're my friend. Glad we had that one moment together. Buy my book right now. Go to getyourmojobackbook.com. You can get the digital download, and you can get some really cool bonus offers on this book. So go and do that right now. Other than that, you can also get it on Amazon, or you can listen to it online everywhere you want. But if you want to support me and you want to do something nice for me, why don't you go get a copy of my book? Grab a couple for your friends. Beside that, what else? The God XP thing. Back to that. Or let's go back to the music thing. I didn't even mention the fact that for the last 6 or 7 years since I stopped playing in bands, I've been releasing a few songs a year. I released one album in my 20s by myself, and that's a huge regret of mine. I wish I would have spent way more time focused on music. Like, from age 20, my whole life, my goal was to make enough money so that I could play music my whole life, so that I could get back on the road and go on tour and make albums for a living. And that never happened. I started a digital marketing business. I got into hairstyling so I could do that. Then I started a digital marketing business so I could do that. And both of which were distractions. If I could just go back and do it again, maybe I would have just said, hey, It's the first time I made a living income with my digital marketing business, I would have said, okay, I did it. Now let's just make music. Let's make albums. I should have made a bunch of albums and I should have played a bunch of shows. But instead, I focused on like, let's see how big we can grow this thing. I got distracted with my business and I made 1, 2, 3, 4 singles a year, put out 1 album in 2018. And man, just not enough performance, not enough creation. I was born an artist to an artist father. Like I should have continued to cultivate and nourish that. I'm 30 years old now. You know, I've been able to express my creativity in different ways. Picked up jujitsu when I was just turning 26 or 25, just turned 25 or so. And I picked up jujitsu, which has been a great creative outlet for me and a competitive outlet that's helped develop my character in its own unique way. But like, and then starting my business, and then just like the God XP thing's been an absolute blessing to me. It's, in my mind, God XP is like my vehicle for self-discovery and self-realization and sharing those discoveries with others. When I was 24 and I was ideating suicide, I decided, let's give myself a second chance. And the point of this suffering will be to help others in this situation if I can in any way. So I started God XP as a vehicle for that. And that's why I started the podcast when I was in 2016, and did like 20 episodes and then just stopped because like I'm an artist and I just got so many ideas. I just put them on the shelf and keep moving. But look, I've started up the podcast again. I don't know if you noticed, but there's 2 episodes out right now. They're really great, high production, I think. And it's got sick new theme song, everything, cool guests. And that's just going to continue. It's just a part of my plan and my long-term plan for growth. And so check that out. Go to God XP, listen to it on Spotify podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, highlight clips on YouTube, and follow God XP on social media. What else? Yeah, the music thing, man. I'm super, super committed to putting out more music. Something I'm really excited about. Being 30 does not change my plans or my path in any way. Like as far as music goes and creativity goes, I think like it's only a blessing. The older you get, the more life you have experienced, the more of a blessing your experience becomes. I don't think that there's almost nothing I can't really think of right now. There's nothing I can think of that diminishes with age. I think everything improves the older you get. Your ability to accomplish things, your ability to attain, your ability to become, all these things improve with age. So you don't have to feel like you're in a rush. If you're in your 20s right now, or if you're approaching your 20s, don't rush. You're not in a rush. Use this time. Use your 20s to your own benefit, your own advantage. Build your mind, build your body, and build your spirit. Do everything you can to experience these things that will benefit you in long term. Consider yourself your greatest investment and your greatest asset. There is no limit to your ceiling. There is no limit to your potential. So treat your brain like it's a 10 billion, $100 billion supercomputer, because it possibly is. You could possibly generate $100 billion in your life based on what you have up here. Maybe you don't have it yet, but the potential is there. It's an empty sponge waiting to soak up a whole breadth and wealth of knowledge that's out there. It's all accessible via computer or your mobile phone, whatever you're watching this on. YouTube, Google, it's all free. So just go out there and start learning things that interest you. Even if it's just a little interest, just start pulling at that thread and pull that thread and pull that thread until you've got a whole bunch of that yarn sitting in your lap. And you can use that. You can spin it. You can teach people things. And that's life. So continue to grow. Don't be afraid of your age. Don't be afraid of time. Don't be afraid of your place in space. Like, there's no limit. So those are my realizations. My 20s, I felt like I was rushing. I was rushing, constantly trying to attain and achieve before a certain time. Before I turn 25, I got to make it in music. Before I turn 30, I've got to make it in business. And like all these things are just like ideas that the media plants in your head. Ideas that, I want to say like just commercialism, like plants in your head. You don't need anything to happen at a certain age. You're probably going to live way longer than you're expecting. So just plan for a super, super long life, but then take advantage of every single moment, every single day, every moment of time. Make a super long plan, reverse engineer that plan, and all the way down to the day. And then appreciate and be super grateful for everything that happens in every day, knowing that it's a blessing and a gift to even wake up. You didn't even have to wake up. The universe, the powers that be, God is allowing you to wake up every single time. So be grateful just to wake and realize that you've got faculties, you've got eyeballs to see, you've got a computer brain to think, you've got a mechanical body to move and interact with 3D space, and you can affect things with not only your voice but with your body, your just by interacting with others, you're affecting and manipulating the universe. So appreciate the moment, but plan to be here forever, because life is not short. It's super fucking long. And that's what people won't tell you. They say life is short because they want you to make decisions that benefit them in the immediate term. Life is fucking long. You're going to wish you were dead several times in your life. Every 10 years, every 5 years, you're going to have these simple moments where you're sitting alone thinking, damn, I'm tired. But life goes on. And hopefully for you, life goes on long enough that you can actualize your potential, which might take a very, very long time. People underestimate what they can do with 10 years. They underestimate what they can do they overestimate what can happen in 1 year and underestimate what can happen in 10. So trust me when I say you've got time. You're going to be here for a long fucking time, and the rest of your life is ahead of you. So even if you're older than me, you know that that's true. You know that there's already been times in your life where you're like, damn, when is this going to end? You know, it's not. Plan to be here forever, because by the time you're old enough to die, there might not be a possible way. There might be a cure for everything by the time it's time for you to die. So these are the things that I'm thinking about all the time. Just the finity of life, my mortality, I guess the exponential expansion of humankind and consciousness, and my own individual life, the progress I can make, the progress I guess that's necessary and that I desire, and whether those desires are even important. You know, these things are important for you to reflect on. You are shaping and designing your life story, and everyone has their own individual life story. How are you going to be remembered? You're painting a picture. You're directing a movie, and you might not like that fact, but it's still a fact. You are creating the ultimate movie because you have to watch the end. Nobody's going to understand your movie better than you from the beginning, the first breath you took, to the very last breath. No one's going to understand when you die your story, your life better than you. You're painting it. You're painting the picture. You're directing the movie. You are conducting the experiment of you. I am my own person. You're your own person. We're all unique. We are each the experts of our own experience. So that which you have experienced, you can share with others. You can teach others what it's like. It doesn't matter if you're accredited or not. No one can give you an accreditation in you. Only you know what it's like. So don't be afraid to go out there and express yourself and be yourself. Everything is, it's it's an experiment. Everything is like a video game. The more you realize that fear is an illusion and it's designed to point you at the direction you're supposed to be looking, not to be looking away from, you can start to engage with things that will alchemize you. They will catalyze you and turn you into that thing which you desire the most. You run away from things that make you afraid and toward things that make you comfortable. And it's the opposite that we should be doing, because there's nothing that can really kill us anymore. Aside being hit by a car or getting, struck by lightning is more likely than getting shot by a gun, depending on where you live. I live in Fresno, and there's still which is, a high crime city comparatively. And I still feel so safe, like pretty much all the time. So there's really nothing mortally threatening to us. There's just life, and fear is pointing you toward that thing. Whatever you're afraid of is probably the thing you should, that fear is the ultimate signal for growth. So realize that life is more like a video game than the reality that we're taught to expect, because the only consequence is death, and death is an illusory thing, and you shouldn't even fear it, because so long as you exist, death cannot exist. And if you don't exist, you have no need to worry. So we are each individual souls, infinite souls, experiencing a human experience, experiencing life as a human. And this is true because when you are laying in bed at night, you have that conversation with yourself about anything, whatever it is. You're talking to yourself, and no one else is listening except for you. That's your consciousness. That's that you that's been you since before you knew who you were. So that's your infinite soul speaking. And that's what we call consciousness here in a human life. But you don't have to be even the most cynical person can see a bird or a dog or any other form of life and say it's got its own unique personality. And it's not a human, but it's got personality. That's life. That's its soul being expressed. So you are just a human right now, but after this, what? These are things for you to consider. Don't live life in ignorance. Live life in awareness, an increasing expansion of your awareness, like your spiritual awareness, your mental awareness, and your physical awareness, your kinetic awareness. Learn how to use your body to its fullest extent. Learn how to use your mind to its fullest extent. Learn how to use your spirit to its fullest extent. Spiritual development. That's where I come from. Growing up as a Christian missionary when I was 11 to this point in time now, it's all been about who is God and what is this experience God wants me to have here while I'm alive as a human being. And that's spiritual development. Some people major in physical development. Some people major in mental development. But I think we need a good balance of all three. If I can help anyone in this lifetime, it's with the spiritual development part, because that's what I've been passionate in pursuing my whole life since I was 11. And even before that, from my earliest childhood memories, like my parents teaching me to pray when I was just infantile. And everything leads to something for everyone. So I don't know. I don't mind changing meaning. That's one thing I feel really grateful for about my 20s is I learned to change meaning. I learned to reconstruct my identity when need be. So if I'm fucking future proof, I can change my identity. That's something I recommend you learn how to do. Don't get too romanticized about what society tells you are. You can reconfigure that at any time. So those are my recommendations for anyone younger than me and even anyone older than me that's struggling to appreciate life. I'm 30 today. It's 3 decades of time, and it feels good, honestly. Like I said, I don't really care. I don't have a parade waiting for me. I would have appreciated a stronger social life at this stage, but like things happened the way they happened with COVID and the pandemic and everything. There's been times in my life when I've been extremely social and I've had lots of network and connections and friendships that are really strong and vibrant. And the last like year or two, 3, maybe even 4, about 3 years, I've been pretty like solitary. And that's because at different times I have stronger ambitions and goals, and other times socializing suits those ambitions and goals more appropriately. So I think socializing has its place, but entertainment overall is overrated. So I don't spend a lot of time goofing off. I don't spend a lot of time out and about. I'm either at jiu-jitsu or I'm here in the office working. If there's like I said, some networking event where I can see some definite positive ROI, then I show up. But I think entertainment's overrated. I think socializing is overrated for the most part. But we definitely need each other. We're a tribe of humans. Humans are tribal animals. We're pack animals. We need each other to thrive. We're a node in a network connected to infinite other networks. And without connection, you cannot thrive. You're a pack animal. You need to be connected. But you also need to provide value to your connections, to your network. You need to be a node that is perpetually increasing in size. It's not just increasing in connection, because that's still one little node. You want to increase in size as well. The way you do that is by increasing your competence. You increase your competence, your physical, your mental, your emotional, your social, your spiritual competence. These things will help you become a more enriching entity. Someone touches you, someone looks at you, someone speaks to you, and you bless them because you have competence in many areas, in many aspects. So I think it's really important for us to become increasingly competent with every moment in our life. Read books, learn shit, get mentors and guides to help you get smarter. Like if you suck at running or exercising in any way, get a coach, take a jiu-jitsu class, do something, increase your physical competence so that when you're walking down the street, you don't feel like a coward. Like that will help you so that when you're with friends, they're like, wow, look it, I've got this guy with me, or this girl with me. They are full of confidence. I don't have to be worried. I don't have to be afraid. If something weird happens, they'll handle it. That's being good for your tribe. That's being good for your pack. And especially if you're a man and you're in your 20s, that's something you should really be working on developing, especially if you want to start a family, you want to start a business, you want to start an organization, you want to lead a team of any sort. You got to be competent, man. Physical competent, mentally competent, spiritually competent, emotionally competent, especially emotionally. Dude, there's nothing wrong with being emotionally confident, having emotional awareness and emotional intelligence as a man. It's extremely important. Okay. So, and women as well. Like you don't want to just think that because you're sensitive, you're emotionally competent, you're emotionally aware. That's not the same thing. So, and so it is with men. Like you can be an emotional person and still be masculine, and you don't have to be angry. Anger is not a masculine energy. It's just a fear response. So don't be afraid to explore yourself emotionally. It's important. Don't be afraid to experience life physically, mentally, spiritually. It's important. And there's no age at which you can start. There's no age limit. You can start this at age 6, age 7. If you're age 7 listening to this, all this applies to you. You're going to live for a long time. So get started. The less mistakes you make, the further your progress will be. You won't notice it until the end. That's the thing about making mistakes. We think it's okay because we don't notice the impact right away. Mistakes, we pay the price for our mistakes years in the future. For every day you waste today, You shave the last page of your life off. You tear that page out of your book. If you fuck up and you waste the next week, you're not wasting this week. You're not gonna feel it. You're wasting the last week of your life. You're gonna die 1 week earlier. Think about it. You wasted a week. Oh, in your last week, you're gonna be like, fuck, why did I waste? So you won't pay the price until it's too late. Don't waste time. Figure out what you're doing here. That's the most worthwhile pursuit. So that's my advice. Yeah, it's kind of grim, but it's also like extremely optimistic about humankind. Each one of us has unlimited potential. I truly believe that. Even if you have disabilities, you still have no idea what your potential is. It's a lot higher than you're thinking, because society has trained us to believe that there are some limitations which are just societal limitations. They're not individual limitations. Don't live your life with a societal consciousness. Don't live your life in a worrying about what your ideologies teach you about who you are. Worry about your individual ideology. Who are you as an individual? That's all that matters. Everything else is transitory. All these things that people think matter today, transitory. That shit goes away. So, you're not your nationality. You're not your profession. You're not even your fucking gender. You are an infinite soul here to experience and learn. To be an observer of the universe, to be a witness of God's amazing ability to create, and to just an observer of what this beautiful God is, what this beautiful universe is. That's all you are. So everything else is transitory, which means it's temporary. It's here today, gone tomorrow. You're infinite. You're going to keep doing this over and over again until you figure that out. So that's it for me. I'm 30, and I hope you appreciate this message. Happy birthday to me. I'm Aunt P, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.